Well, hi, and welcome to the 16th TargetedWest.com conference. Here's my card. My name is DJ Chris. I'm your moderator and a TI for 20 years or longer. You can reach us at djchris@targetedwest.com with questions or comments or suggestions. We have a Sunday show with topics that I pick through the week and do a light research on, but I will post them on Twitter for you to review, of course. And if it's real hot, I'll give the URL over the microphone. If you're on BitChute, YouTube, or archive.org, I appreciate your time to take out to watch me. I'm an old man in the middle. I'm not violent or spewing out some crazy stuff or causing an anti-government situation. I'm pro-U.S., pro-government. I just don't like bad seeds that create these issues that we're going through. I'm still not sure. I have the telepathy, and I'm still trying to figure out where it's coming from. I'm an old man in a camper here in Lodi, and it is 100 degrees right now, believe it or not. 100 degrees. So, so I'm going to be sweating away. Anyway, first subject matter is, and today is the 7/17/2022. It's 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, -7 GMT. The first one is Dr. Robert Duncan and I had a conversation, and he has concurred with me that grounding does in fact work. That is out of his fingers and mouth to me in a conversation. So he is cemented in the fact that the grounding does work with some little caveats. One of them is you got to do it out away from the buildings and out somewhere in a nice, comfortable area out, hopefully, out towards a country where there's not a lot of stuff going on the ground. And it's quiet, too, because you're going to go through your 5 senses. You're going to try to meditate, too, if you can, and relax and put your cell phone down and get off that computer and the TV. Go be yourself and reconnect to yourself. It'll help you. Take your shoes off and go put your feet on the lawn for an hour somewhere and get back with me. You'll be surprised. The next is I posted on Twitter, TI Club 3, about the history of confidential informants, which probably someone of some sort probably included us in this, who knows. This is from the Department of Justice, so they described the background and the psychology. There's 2 different types of these informants, and their information is true. They're biased because they're either going to get a lenient sentence or a reduced charge or whatever, and they're criminals, so they're not really that trustworthy, which is why I don't understand why they use them at all. So anyway, I put a little description in the background of how that confidential informant situation works with the FBI, police, local, state, and federal. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to take a little sip here. Next subject is Civil Forfeiture 101. Hey, caller 00, hugs to you. A name? Name. The name was here before. Civil Forfeiture 101. I think they were going to do that to me and take my home. And they've taken other people's homes and cars and property and money, and they can take cash from you for any reason, and they will say that the cash is suspicious. Not you, but your cash is suspicious. And then they drug test it, and like I'm wiping my nose, or a weird coincidence, and a lot of money has drugs on it, so of course it's going to test positive for drugs. That's cuckoo. And then they go to some parts of the freeways and pull people over willy-nilly. And, if you have your cash to go buy something, or if you fly an airplane, the TSA is going to take your cash. And then they take you to court, and you have to sue them to get your money back, which is almost impossible. It was supposed to be for the RICO Act. It was supposed to be for organized crime, not for everyday citizens. And the average take from civil forfeiture is $486. That's right. They're taking your bank cards and debit cards, and they're using an extraction machine that's like a credit card machine, but oh, wow, a rare phone call. I wonder who that could be. Oh, it's a mom. That's the hotline for mother-in-law. I was like, nobody calls here. That was weird. So the average check is $486. They use an extraction device to suck it out of your cards. They take it from your purse, bags, whatever, from the car. They'll leave you. They left this one Marine stranded on the side of the road. Took all his cash. Didn't even leave him enough for cab fare or bus fare with his children. Yeah? Take people's houses. Take people's cars for no reason. I mean, it's a war on cash. And on you want to hear a story about civil forfeiture in San Bernardino County? They were pulling over armored cars and taking the cash out because they said some of the cash was from legal medical marijuana facilities, but they still took the cash out of the armored cars in San Bernardino County, and it was the sheriff, which I'll tell you about the history of the sheriff in a little bit. So the armored car companies had to lock somebody in with the money, and a supervisor talks to the police, and they can no longer get in the back of the vehicle. They have literally had to lock the money in with someone to keep it away from the sheriff. That is civil forfeiture. Because it could be federal civil forfeiture, and they can say still marijuana is class 1. It's worse than marijuana, worse than meth and cocaine and heroin, because it disrupts mind control, as I've discussed before, and it has a bad reputation. So that's what civil forfeiture is. Your property is suspect and not you. Even the court documents will say your name or the U.S. DOJ versus $55,000. That's who they're suing because your cash is suspicious. Anyway, that's civil forfeiture. The courts have decided to go along with it. I think it's ridiculous and needs to stop. Some states and cities are stopping it. It's still, the main revenue source for a lot of cities, states, and the federal government kicks it back because they call it adopting, where they adopt the money of the federal government. So once the federal government adopts it, then they kick back like 80% back to whomever took it. So anyway, that's civil forfeiture. The next one is important for you to listen to. I'll take a break for a moment, let everyone settle into the call. I see we've got a good selection of folks. I see all the regular signature TIs are here. And I see Hannah is up in the house. Hey, Hannah. Hey, everybody. Yeah, it was a pretty good weekend. It was not bad. The next one is, I think you need to probably write this one down. In my last episode, I was telling you about the Stingrays and the MZ devices and all that, and then I told you about how they're using Google data off your phones. They're mining it from third parties and selling it to the feds and the local police, state, and such, and they're doing geo-warrants on it. Well, I found a way to opt out. You can opt out. Not all of this Ventel company can block everything. Did I say that wrong? Ventel cannot block everything, but it's a good step. It's ventel.com, VENNTEL.com. It gives you the chance to opt out request for your information to be not disclosed. Okay? So that's Ventel, for you watching on the video, VENNTEL.com, and then you can opt out. There you go. Thank you, Hannah. That's 1L. Then do 1L and try it again, and then click on it, see if it comes up. You're very close. And so, yeah, that you can opt out. And then the etymology is, yeah, that's the one. Let's see what it does. They want more. I want www too. The etymology of the word sheriff is interesting. That's the next topic. You guys noticed a lot of actions with the sheriff. Well, the sheriff have been around since the 9th century in England. The word sheriff is a diagraph. It's share and riff. It's shire, reeve. The shire is where the kings had their areas of England, and the shire patrolman was the man who watched the shire, and then they merged the shire with I forgot it. With the sheriff with the other part. And anyway, the two merged together. The second part is the reeve. There it is, reeve. Hello, they will erase my memory. Reeve is administration, jails, and like all the paperwork and stuff that has to be done. And they're also, do police type work and patrol. But that's the breakdown of that word, and they have been around forever. I think the first American sheriff was in 1635. Okay? So if you wonder why the sheriff has all the powers, because they've been in here a lot longer than our bloodlines. That's probably the reason why they have so much power, it seems. And most of my studies that seem to be involved. In my case, that's what it was. In the Bay Area, one of the sheriff's departments. So that's the etymology of the word sheriff. Oh, you got it. There we go. Let's click on this. Oh, you got it. Very good. It's VENNTEL.com/opt-out if anyone's watching the video. Who's that? Oh, some person was next to my vendor. Oh. The next is, speaking of sheriff, a technology called, you're just gonna love this one. You know, they have the gun that tasers you. Now they got this thing called the stun cuff, because they don't think it's good for the jury in the court to see someone all, up in shackles and everything. They want someone to look like they're a little freer, but they have them set up with an actual literal stun cuff with a remote control, and if they act up, they hit that button and zap the heck out of you. And if you're not compliant, you get zapped. Do you think that's humane, or do you think that's needed? Do you think it's less humane if the person complies than to have shackles? What do you think? That's a subject matter topic you guys can talk about. That again, stun-cuff.com. That's stun-cuff.com. Remote zapping using a cuff for courts and situations like going to a medical doctor. That is, they don't do it unless you try to run away, but still, the psychology behind that's disgusting. But I understand, so having someone shackled all the way, that would make the jury think, that they're guilty. That's why they came up with this new torture device. Imagine if you were kidnapping people, you would just torture them with that. That's god awful. I hope that doesn't get in the wrong hands. Next subject matter is, my telepathy, the terrorists in my head, as I've told all of you in my previous calls. I'm going to need a puff of my cannabis. I forgot what brand this is. Oh, it's Americana. It's Amera, C-A-N-N-A. Really good, and it's American. It's grape 8, and it tastes like a grape. Oh, my telepathy wouldn't leave me alone. They still talked to me just a moment ago. Karen Stewart hired a private investigator, and he came up with the fact that Lockheed has a program that's a home franchise called the William Patrick Cox Home Franchise, but I cannot write it on the internet. I have to use initials, or else the terrorists in my head will go crazy and drive me nuts. So I negotiated that with them, and you can go on my Twitter page, TI Club 3, and you can click on Karen Stewart's website. I found she still has it up and running, so it's public information. Okay? And it gives you a full report of how the neighbors acted up. The 2 Erics, all that. It's all in there. Go check that out. It's very discreet. It's a very discreet file. And TargetedWest is a friend of Karen Stewart's. We are not against her. We have no enemies. We are all friends here at TargetedWest, and my friends, you all, and everyone else. And we've got a big crowd. So this home franchise system you get from Lockheed, and then you get leads for terrorism, or you go find them, and you turn the leads in, and you either, I guess you get paid, but you have to pay for the franchise, and I think there's a monthly fee. Some of my telepathies told me in the past that they paid for a franchise and said that they may be losing their houses because the income's not coming in because they're not getting the right leads. It's being mismanaged. But, they could be lying. But then again, that sounds about right. But then again, it doesn't. But, you shouldn't always believe what you hear in your head. But it's funny how they chimed in on that a long time ago, and I remembered that. But anyway, that's a doozy. You definitely want to learn about that. Okay. Take a little breath and relax. Chill out. It's Sunday. I hope everyone had a good week. Yeah, it was a lovely week here. It was a little hot. I've told you guys that I was into Adam 12 and all those shows, so I wanted to be in Starsky and Hutch. So my friend from high school and I, or before high school, he lived around the corner, decided we were going to join the police cadet program at our local city police department. And all they did was exploit us, make us clean cars and vacuum them and do paperwork in the office. We never got to ride along or anything. I did get to listen in on the training. And then they exploited me and set me up for some stupid little thing where they took a picture of me near the gun of the car that's unloaded and sitting there out in the public parking lot with the doors unlocked. And it's like, whatever. So they used it as a big deal. They were running me out, and I went right straight over to the fire department and told them, and they said, we don't like the police. Come join us. And I did. End of that story. So I find out they're still abusing cadets. In Louisiana, according to this article I posted on TI Club 3, they abuse the cadets, or have the other cadets, like they did with me in 78, set up the other cadets. They have the cadets beating each other up until they look like a crime victim. This is no joke. And I noticed in the hierarchy of the police department I was involved in 78, that's how it worked. So they're still doing it. As of 2020, they were abusing cadets. So my point is, and for topic talk, if they're abusing themselves, like the EMTs they're abusing, I put on posts that I erased because it's just too crazy. The police are attacking each other, the cadets, the EMTs themselves. So of course they're going to come after you. And like I believe the syndicate or the secret group of people are LEO, military, intel, or what have you, or concerned citizens, people who need a job that are criminals, what have you, that are in this program doing it remotely and what have you with the intel or co-intel in person, cause stalking. So they're still at it. Isn't that lovely? Please forgive the air conditioning. It's 100. Oh, it's 98 degrees. Hey, it's cooled down. Hello, Liz. I hope you're feeling well to have an after call because I'm going to poop out at 8. Say yes, please. Please say yes. And the answer is maybe, maybe, maybe. So, oh, yes. Okay, Liz is having an after call, everyone, at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. -7 GMT. Julian Assange hears voices and is getting telepathy, telling him to die. You piece of junk, go die. We don't like you. The same crap we're getting in our heads, now Julian is getting in his head. So now they got him hooked up with a psychiatrist and making it look like he's crazy when you know he's not. So now they're doing it to him too. Isn't that freaking lovely? That was a discussion the other day in the conferences and on the Twitter. So, you know, there you have it. And now he's being extradited to the United States, so they'll continue that torture because it can be done worldwide. Oh, Liz is going to make a hat to try to reduce the V2K pulses. Very nice. Let us know how that works out. So Julian Assange hears voices, crazy, crazy. That's a topic you can talk about. The next one is a TI trauma drama. And I call that TI trauma drama when someone's not being self-aware or mindful and just goes on and drags other people's energy down. If you have a bad day and you're not doing well with targeting, at least try to be a little more mindful. Next is last before we go on the open mic. It's 22 after, perfect timing. You'll be able to talk in a moment, so don't go away. The last is I had to repost the amendments to the Constitution because they're trampled on so much. I think a lot of people have forgotten their rights. So go back to TI Club 3 on Twitter, and you can go and read about the important amendments that we have, especially their importance today. And there's a video lesson for that. So without further ado, I will prepare my paperwork for next session. I have a very large crowd. This goes here, switch that over, open mic. Okay, we're going to switch status. Open mic, I'm going to mute you. And if you want to mute, go *6. Okay, you're open mic. Talk amongst yourselves. Hello, everyone. Open mic Sunday. Chill, relax, meet new friends, or talk to old ones.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Liz.
Thank you for the call.
Thank you for being here. You're welcome.
They gave me a migraine for over 12 hours yesterday, and then I woke up with one again today.
Well, that's better than a ear grain because I don't need one right now. I'm just joking. My grain, your grain, we're all getting grains. Wish I had some vodka grain, but that's another story. Oh, I get those headaches. They're awful, aren't they?
They are. I feel like a major concussion. Probably because they are a concussion.
It's because they are, yes.
You know, people say they get targeted because they try to be active, but I think it's the opposite. I think the more I get targeted, the more active I try to help out, you know, and stuff.
I have the same effect, yeah. It's because I'm so busy, I don't notice it, too.
Yeah.
Plus, they know they can't do anything to any of us because we all know each other very well. And if we disappeared, you know, like when Romola or someone goes to these places, we all hunt them down and call, and they have to let the person go home. Because, you know, people power always works.
Yeah. I just wonder when the first investigation of neural weapons will be, like, in the news. Like, what's the straw that's going to break the camel's back in this? I wonder. I say in the next 5 years.
That's a good question. I wish I knew the answer to that. I have to move. The seat is so uncomfortable. That's a good question. I wish I had the answer to that. I really don't know. Is it going to take some event to make that happen?
I'm betting if Icator in Belgium, if that lawsuit is successful, I believe then it'll break for us. That's just my belief. I think they're going to be the forerunner of taking this stuff, you know, getting serious about taking this stuff to court.
I agree. Open mic. There's some new folks that newcomers. Like an AA meeting. Do any of the newcomers want to talk?
Yeah, hi, this is Peter. I was wondering...
Peter, hello. Yeah, Ann referred you. Come on in, Peter.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. It's my first time, but I was wondering about what was going on in Belgium.
That was someone commenting on the lawsuit in Belgium, Ecuador, yes.
Okay, what lawsuit? I don't know anything about this.
HC, could you speak up on that again?
I can't any more than you. I don't even know how, if you do a search for Icator, which is the acronym, ICATOR, I don't know if that will get you there. Let me see what I can find.
ICATOR.be. So it's an international lawsuit that's taking place in Belgium. They're taking action against the government. It's a class action. They're taking action against the government for not protecting from electronic torture. And so you're allowed to participate even if you're not a citizen of Belgium, but you're considered a witness, and you won't be able to get any awards if there is awards for damages. So only the citizens will seek awards. They're actively raising money for the trial. They have expert witnesses from the local universities and are continuing to gather more information on all the aspects involved. If they don't achieve their goal in Brussels, then they'll continue on to a higher court. So they do have a lawyer. I think they reached their initial goal of filing. I'm not sure if they have filed yet or not, but if you go to their website, you can join as a member. You can make payments to join as a member, so you don't have to make all of it up front. And they send out newsletters and do raise awareness. They just had a scanning recently, about half a month ago, and scan people for implants. So,
wow.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I know of right now, currently.
Thank you very much.
Melanie Versham, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right. Melanie Versham.
You are. And could you give him the link again, please?
Yeah, the link is ICATOR.BE.
ICAPOR?
IC?
Yes.
So it's ICATOR.BE.
GOR.BE. Okay.
Yeah, ICATOR.
Okay. Yes.
.BE.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thanks.
Very nice. Peter, did you want to tell a little bit about yourself, or did you want to kick back, or what would you like to do?
So I've been a targeted individual now at TI for 20 years. I live in Montreal, Quebec, and this started when I was living in the States, in Miami, and it followed me here. Basically, it was a 1 year in Miami where I was noticing it, but it was still, dispersed kind of thing. It wasn't every day. It wasn't all the time. And then I got on the plane, and it started right there. The V2K and mostly targeting, but it was a V2K. I get that a lot. And since about 2 years ago or so, maybe 3 years ago, I've been getting little breaks where I've got a couple of days off from that. Maximum has been less than a week, and then it starts all over again. So that's basically it.
Are you in the city, or do you live in a rural area?
Now I'm in Montreal, and I live in the city, and I realized that it's my neighbors doing this, and I know which ones. Also, it's I live in a building where it's got, I guess, 6 to 8 apartments per floor, and it's about 3 apartments so far that I know of, maybe 4 even. So for the last 2 years, you're saying you'll get a break sometimes, like of a couple days? It's only been 2, maybe 3 years that I've been getting that break.
Wow.
Yeah, but because it had been nonstop. But when I came back from Miami, I was living with my family, and so when your family's around, they don't hurt you as much, or the V2K is not. Yeah, it's not as intense as when you're alone. Yeah. And then I moved into I moved into my apartment about 8 years ago, give or take, and since then it had been non-stop until like 2 or 3 years ago, I was getting little breaks, and and it was really nice because one of my best friends came from Vancouver, and so I went and I was visiting with him and his new partner. And it was so nice. It's like I was thinking of what I've missed, Because as a TI, it's horrible. You sort of spend most of the time indoors.
Yeah. And how did you find our calls, or at least this call, or any of the calls? Through
Anne, the TI. I met her actually at Ella's
Okay.
Targeted, yeah. And I've been in touch with her, even though I haven't been on a call in about maybe 1.5 to 2 years. I went on Ella's call a few times for about a month or so, and then I don't know why I just didn't go anymore. But
We're glad you're here. Thank you, Peter, for attending.
Well, thank you very much, Chris, for having this up. Really, thank you.
Did I hear you say partner? I have a partner for 25 years.
Oh, really? I have a partner now since 19 years. Yeah.
Oh, really? And my targeting started 20 years ago too. Yeah. Oh, and he.
Oh, really?
My partner gets the dreams, but not the telepathy.
Oh, my partner, thank God, doesn't get anything, and he doesn't believe me. Even after all this time, he keeps coming up with excuses about them, but he's also at the same time very supportive.
Yeah, well, you know, this is designed to make people skeptical because it's mimicking mental illness, but it's not real mental illness, it's fake.
Yes, very true.
So your job is to be self-aware and mindful and support your partner for supporting you, and you'll be good to go, because I made it to 25 years.
Yeah. But you know what, Chris? It's tough. It's tough not talking about it.
Oh, it's awful. Do you get the V2K?
All the time. That's my main.
Do they badmouth your partner while he's? Do they badmouth your partner while he's talking to you? They do that to me all the time. They don't want you in a relationship, so whatever you do, don't become single.
No, they don't. They don't do that. But they're also. It's just constant. 24 hours a day. I can't go to sleep if I don't have a sleeping pill. To that extent. And sometimes I run out of sleeping pills, so I've got to deal with it naturally.
Yeah, I use cannabis to help me sleep.
Yeah, I use that every now and then, but when it gets really bad, that's when I use cannabis too. It's legal here in Canada, in Montreal.
Yes, it is. Very legal. And here in California, too. I think we invented it.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
But I have a cobweb. I had to move my chair. If ever you want to know why my camera moved, I'm on the other side of the RV. My butt hurts on that side that the seating is wearing out. That's where I do my research. So I moved over here, and I'm so glad to meet you, Peter. My name's DJ Chris. And
hi, DJ Chris.
Well, hello. And I just started this 16 weeks ago. I'm new. I've been around for a while, but I'm new at doing a conference call, and I really appreciate your attendance.
Thank you.
I was going to bring up some extra matters. Open mic, I have open topics. I did some research on Brzezinski and Kissinger, and they both are believers in real politik, P-I-K, which is a German writer that came up with it quite a long time ago, and it's a pragmatic way of doing politics worldwide, and basically it's Machiavellian after reading about it. Lovely Kissinger. He's 98 years old, and he's still, he's hanging, I'll tell you, I have to wait to tell you about Kissinger hanging out with Eric Schmidt. We'll get to that at the end to make you hang out so you don't leave me. Don't leave me. Next subject we can talk about, open topic, is spirituality. How spirituality works for you. Did you have some enlightenment event that caused you to become spiritual? Have you lost some of your spirituality because of targeting? You want to talk about that? We can talk about that. The Constitution, I put a 101 so we can reread the Constitution of the United States and along with the amendments earlier, so in case they try to trick us into forgetting about it, reread them again. It's a very interesting post on TI3, and I'll wait for you guys for this next one. This one's a doozy. I don't think Gertrude's here. Well, anyway, Gertrude always says about the Satanic Temple in the chat room. So I decided to spend a few days researching the Satanic Temple and the Satanic Church. And the Satanic Church is the devil crazy people in San Francisco and all over. And the temple just started in 2013, and maybe it's basically just a trolling. They're all libertarians. All that, just to find that out. So I don't support either one. That's the end of that story. I did research, and I don't support anybody that calls themselves Satanists. Sorry. Next one was, this is crazy. Did you know that Sigmund Freud and Dr. Halsted, who invented the basics of hospital procedures, both had cocaine addictions? You have to understand, cocaine was fairly new in the late 1800s, so it was the new miracle drug, and they didn't know about the side effects. But yeah, Sigmund Freud was a cokehead, and then magically sobered up and wrote all his biggest works. So next time you get messed up by a psychotherapist or a psychiatrist, say, so Sigmund Freud was on cocaine when he came up with that? That will knock them off their socks. Matter of fact, there's a book about it, and we'll be putting it in the TI Book Club soon about Sigmund Freud and Halsted being cocaine addicts. You know, Sigmund Freud's the modern inventor, the past inventor of psychology. Using cocaine. I thought that was interesting. So that'll be our new book club book selection when I can afford to buy the book and read it. I'll read it for you and let you know if it's worth it or not. Anybody want to comment? Open mic. I'm going to take a little break for a moment. Speak, talk, open.
Hi, DJ Chris. Hi, everyone. I just want to say, I'm sorry, this is Hannah from Ventura, and I've been in the program 4 years overtly, but I remember some spiritual experiences that I believe was neurotesting before my targeting went overt, and just because you brought up spirituality. And it happened actually at my friend's house, who's into Guru Mai, who was the guru of Eat, Pray, Love. In the first edition of Eat, Pray, Love, they had her name listed, but so many people came to her ashram in India that the second editions, and, you know, they took her name out so she could retain some privacy. And, you know, I was raised by a Buddhist and a Christian. I'm not very spiritual, but I just remember I was sitting down at my friend's house who's like into this Eat, Pray, Love guru, and she put on a meditation, and I felt like this energy emitting from my third eye. And now I know, looking back, that it feels like the frequencies I experience daily. So I think, you know, there's something to that. But I want to, you know, I want to encourage, like, whatever gets you through the night, it's all right, like that Beatles song. And but what really helps me is just being around people who are not experiencing this. But I really am appreciative of everyone who's speaking out, and to all our wonderful moderators, because we're all volunteers here. And I really, I have to say, the information that I get from these conference calls, it really helps, I think, mitigates the damage to our lives. So I just want to send you a big digital hug to everybody out there, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. And thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for your attendance. And my next, that's Hannah again, and Hannah is one of our friends of the call. She's here often, and she's a good friend. So we appreciate her support in this matter. I talked to you guys about dash cams before, and we did testing on the dash cam. We did the camera system for the house last week. This week we're doing the dash cam. And the product we use, any of them is fine. The Whistler with the SD card in it. We have one in front and one in back, and we run the extension cord for the plug-in for the cigarette lighter to make it work. And so we have one aimed forward and one aimed back, and we keep them fresh and keep the SD card empty. And basically, you have to record people the way they drive nowadays because, people don't have any money and they drive poorly and they would lie a lot and don't tell the truth, so you don't know who to believe. And if you get in an interaction with the police, you don't have to shove the cell phone camera in front of their face. You can discreetly turn the camera to wherever you want to turn it, because you will not be able to get those body cams for months, if not at all. If you need them, you should always record any interaction with any authorities of any sort. Even if it's the authorities about permits for your building, you have to document. People lie, even authorities. There are some bad authorities. I'm not anti-authoritarian. No. Just saying, gotta get your camera. So the brand is Whistler. We've been using that. The Uniden we had before, Uniden breaks down. They lock up in the heat. They cannot handle the heat, and it gets over 100 here in the summer, and these things break down. Uniden broke down in the heat, and we tried the Whistler now, and after the 1-year review or longer, the Whistler won, and we're not endorsing it. We're just telling you that's what works. Plus, you can leave them on in your car and not drive if your cigarette lighter is active. And you can film in your car with an active cigarette lighter or power source, and they won't know it. See? Extra cameras, extra safety, extra protection. Eric Schmidt, this is the last subject. Eric Schmidt, as I was going to say, is the new Henry Kissinger. And then I pulled up an article from 2020 that Eric Schmidt and Henry Kissinger are getting together and saying that AI is getting dangerous and it's scaring them. Eric Schmidt of Google and Henry Kissinger telling us that AI is scaring them means that they're involved in the AI and it's scary. That's what they're meaning. Henry Kissinger is part of a real Polaknik Brzezinski, and he are into that Machiavellian stuff. It's kind of after the Art of War, but kind of the same theme. So Eric Schmidt is the new Henry Kissinger, and they're scared of AI, and there's apparently a book out. So we'll talk about next week's show in a little bit. So we're going to chill out. I'm going to take a little break here and let you talk. Open mic. It's Sunday, TargetedWest.com. So yeah, I hope everybody had a good weekend. We'll be talking about the new 988 suicide line that they put in on the phones. Do you think it's safe for TI to call them? Talk about that next week.
Hey, Chris. What's up, Laura?
Hello.
Yay. So, yeah, it's Laura, Colorado. I don't know if some of you might know me. I appreciate
it. Yeah, we were talking the other day. Hello, Laura. Come on in.
How are you doing? I mean, I heard how you're doing.
I'm good, except it's 100 degrees, or it's 97. I'm sweating and sitting near the window, but I'm okay.
Yeah, no, it was 100 degrees. I was
It was 100 degrees. I was outside all day. I just got in. So I feel good. I checked out that Freddy's custard and steak burgers. I've never been there. Ooh, it was amazing. It was so good. So, that's a good, that's a good restaurant. I was talking to Ann earlier, and she said she has them down there. Anyway, I appreciate everybody talking. I didn't get the guy's name from Montreal, but good to hear.
Yeah, Peter was his name, Peter.
Yeah, God bless him for just hanging in there, you know. I mean, not being able to talk to your other half about this, you know, that's hard. That's
it's tough, believe me. Yeah, it's very tough.
Yeah.
And also, they've done so many other things to me. Like, for a few months, they kept making me fall. And once or twice I woke up and I passed out and there was blood everywhere. Anyways, I went with my partner to the States. And long story short, I got this really bad headache and I just couldn't stand up without falling. So after 2 nights, my partner Carl was like, no, we're going back to Montreal to the hospital. And so we drove all the way here, and they did some x-rays on my head, and they said if I had come just a few hours later, I'd be dead. So.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they had to do emergency surgery on me twice, like, you know, one side. And then less than a week after, I had to do the other side, the emergency also. So it's been tough.
Yeah, that's brutal. That's brutal. I mean, at least you have him there with you. Yeah. I mean,
he's wonderful, but he just doesn't believe me.
I know. No, I've been there
we
too.
Believe you.
You know, but it's so much better to have somebody that you love with you, even if they don't believe you. I don't know.
Yes, yeah.
It's good to have some backup.
You know what? He's been amazing. As long as I don't talk about it, he really has been amazing. I mean, so many times he's come here because we don't live together anymore. He lives in Ottawa. I live in Montreal. It's about a 2-hour drive. And he comes every week to see me. He'll drive for 2 hours, and then he'll stay a few hours, then he'll go back. And I don't know that many people who would do that. You know, like he's been rock
that can be everything. Yeah, that can be everything. I know for people. Yeah. I mean, for me, just to get out or just to look forward to a lunch that I'm having with a friend on a Tuesday, you know what I mean? That can mean everything to just get through the day.
Oh, my God, yes. Yeah.
I have to say something about the... I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to change it. I was going to change the subject kind of about, Chris said about the shocking thing earlier, the cuff. I would have to be totally against that, Chris. I would have to be totally against that.
Yeah, it's called...
I can't believe that they
stun-cuff.com. That's stun-cuff.com. Send them a message and tell them you think it's stupid.
Yeah, as somebody that was shocked like all day yesterday, all day, I would have to say no. That's the most.
Even the threat of having that done to you is enough for me.
Yeah. Well, I did find something that worked for it yesterday. I've been having these odd shocks to my belly pretty bad. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I had it years ago when I quit smoking marijuana, when I quit smoking cannabis. We've got to say cannabis when it's legal, marijuana when it's not. It's starting to get a...
And I'm talking to you. Yeah, I'm a cannabis proponent.
So,
it's not for everyone, please. It's not for everyone.
Yeah. But years ago, when I quit smoking it, I would get these bad shocks. Eventually, it wore me down, and I started smoking, pot again. But this is brutal. This is brutal. So I did find something that worked. This ginger, crystallized ginger. I don't know if anybody.
That's funny. I was going to have some ginger. I bought some ginger drinks, ginger beer. Ginger works wonders for your stomach, especially. Yes. Bingo.
So I did find something that worked. I wanted to let people know about that. And, just hanging in there. I'm in Colorado. I love Colorado. I meet TIs all over Colorado, and they're all just hanging in there. They're just hanging in there, trying to survive, but they're all good people.
Even people that aren't targeted are barely hanging in there with the inflation and such.
No. And my friends that aren't targeted, let me tell you, they're done with the TI stuff. They're like, they don't want to catch it, for one. They don't want me calling myself a targeted individual. They'll tolerate the TI thing, but they won't tolerate the targeted individual.
Here's my ginger drink. Here it is right here. This is San Pellegrino ginger beer. It was at grocery outlet for $1.99 for 4. I'm going to buy 10 cases tomorrow. Really helps my belly. Does ginger help you?
Yes, tremendously. And it helped me yesterday with with something I've been trying to get through for about a week. So, yeah, ginger, just a little ginger, crystallized ginger, and helping. For sure. Thanks for having the call, Chris.
No worries. I'll be here every Sunday. Setsa, white courtesy telephone. Setsa, did you see I've chosen a healthy option. I got some ginger beer. I know it doesn't have alcohol in it. I keep passed out. Setsa's napping. Okay, Setsa, look at screens. Setsa, look. Now look, I got a little champagne bottle. Isn't that cute? Thank you. Oh, yeah, I knew. I always want to check with you on everything I do, of course. Very nice. Thank you, Setsa. Back to sleep now, Setsa. Laura, that ginger flavor is so snappy, but I just love ginger no matter what.
No, well, it worked. I tried everything for about a week, and I'm talking underwater, the gel pads, those gel heating pads that usually work, the water, I tried the water pads, all our tricks. I tried all week long. Nothing worked.
I'd like to say something, which is what I do. I buy the ginger root, and part of it I chop up in really small pieces, and I make a tea out of it. And then that tea I let steep, for a few minutes, and in a big container, basically, I squeeze 3 lemons, and I put that tea in it, and I add water and some honey or some sugar, and it's all natural. It's really good. You should try that sometimes. It helps a lot as well.
I will. I'm also HIV positive, and some of the meds are horrible. Back in the old days when I used to use ginger. You're also HIV too?
Yeah.
Oh my. I've been HIV 30 years. This year will be 30 years since I got tested. So you're a long-term non-progressor? No way, Jose.
Yeah.
I mean, Peter.
I have been HIV positive since beginning of '88.
92 for me. Do you think we're targeted because of it? I think so.
No, because my targeting only started like 20 years ago, or 19 years ago. So
mine started from an attorney across the street and the sheriff. Yeah, so mine wasn't from that either. Yeah, mine was from something else. I always separate the two.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this is what I feel for me, but oh my God, it's not nice to hear, but it's nice to hear from someone who's like me. I mean,
like the Sylvester song says, someone like you. Anyway, I'm going to end this recording. If you're on Bitchute or YouTube or what have you, or if you guys want to listen to your recording, this will be posted. You can go to TargetedWest.com. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. I'm turning the recording off. Thank you for watching.